It turned out that Shiori was asking them to build sandcastles on the side. Later, Sadaharu said they should take advantage of the girls wearing swimsuits and check them out. Jiro eagerly agreed. Later, Shiori called Jiro and told him to do what they used to do when they were kids. While the two were enjoying themselves, Akari saw them and seemed jealous. Next, Jiro and Akari were chosen to buy food, and while they were waiting in line, they discovered a discount for couples. Akari thought they could pretend to be a couple, telling Jiro to act like they were on a date. Later, while Jiro was getting their order, some guys approached Akari and asked to hang out with him, but Jiro intervened, saying Akari was his wife. The men were taken aback and left. Akari was also surprised by this and Jiro immediately apologized for what he said, thinking that Akari might not like it. However, Akari was annoyed and said she never said she didn't like it, and that she actually liked what Jiro said, so he shouldn't apologize without knowing the reason behind his usual behavior. She then walked back. While bathing in the bathhouse, Akari and Shiori talked about men and love, and as they were discussing, they both thought of Jiro. After bathing, Akari noticed that Jiro had a sunburn and applied lotion on it. Jiro said not to because someone might see them and tease them, but she told him not to worry about that. While Akari was trying to tickle him, she suddenly hugged him. And just then, his friend arrived, so they asked Jiro to buy them drinks. While he was buying, he called Akari by her last name, which seemed to upset her, and she told Jiro to meet her outside, but Jiro didn't know the reason. When they got outside, Jiro immediately apologized, but Akari just got angry and said that he was apologizing again without knowing the reason. Later on, Akari took off her clothes, revealing that she was wearing a swimsuit that she only wanted to show to Jiro. Suddenly, she forced Jiro to look at her as if they were at home. And Jiro told her to stop what she was doing. Later, Akari said that she didn't want Jiro to ignore her too much when they were outside, she didn't like seeing him with other girls and wanted him to always call her by her first name. This made Jiro think and he asked Akari what she meant because she seemed like a jealous girlfriend. Akari realized this and made an excuse, but then they suddenly heard Shiori approaching, so they hid behind the side of a house. While hiding, Akari thought about their relationship and knew that Shiori was the only one Jiro wanted. The two of them were already gasping for air, and Shiori heard the noise. But she got scared and invited Mei to leave. However, before they could even get out, Jiro suddenly fainted due to the extreme heat. The next morning, Shiori couldn't sleep well because she remembered the consecutive arrivals of Akari and Jiro. At work, they found out that they had an activity scheduled for the evening, and Shiori said that she would be too scared and couldn't do it. But Jiro said that it would be better if Shiori were his partner, since he knew her and was okay with her being scared. Shiori thanked him, saying that Jiro's kindness was one of the reasons she liked him. Jiro was surprised to hear this, and when Shiori realized what she had said, she tried to downplay it and came up with an excuse. As Jiro thought about Shiori's words, Sadaharu suddenly appeared and said that he could arrange for Shiori and him to be partners in the upcoming activity. When evening came, Mei handed out the list of women's names to Sadaharu. Mei was aware of the plan, but Jiro also mentioned that Minami and Akari should be partners. By nightfall, everyone had found their partners for the activity, and it began. As they walked, Minami noticed that Akari was scared and held her hand, but Akari was comparing his hand to Jiro's. Later, Akari realized that her cell phone was missing. Meanwhile, everyone finished the activity and returned, except for Akari. When Sadaharu asked Jiro and Shiori how they did, Jiro said nothing happened, because she was just too scared. They noticed that Akari still hadn't returned, and Jiro started to worry. But it began to rain, and Minami called out, saying that she and Akari had gotten separated while searching for Akari's cell phone. Jiro decided to look for Akari, while Akari was lost and didn't know the way. As Jiro searched for her, Akari was getting more and more lost. While waiting, Akari suddenly thought Jiro had arrived, but it was actually Minami. Meanwhile, Jiro found Akari's missing cell phone, and as the rain continued to pour, Akari apologized for what had happened. Minami reassured her that it was okay because he hadn't been watching over Akari either, and he even apologized for being the one who found her instead of Jiro. Akari was taken aback by this, while Minami laughed. Akari explained, and Minami revealed that Jiro was the one she liked, but Akari denied it, saying that Minami was the one she truly loved. Meanwhile, as Jiro was searching, Shiori suddenly appeared and mentioned that Akari and Minami were together, just waiting for the rain to stop. Jiro's mood seemed to change upon hearing this. While they were talking, Shiori noticed how worried Jiro was about Akari. Here, Jiro said that he is a loser because he knows that Minami will find Akari, but he still plunged into the rain to search, and Shiori replied. Jiro is not a loser and is a kind person. And she said she feels envious of Akari because she knows things about Jiro that she doesn't, and she wants to know what it feels like to be with him at home. Jiro then asked her about her relationship with Minami, if they had the kiss they practiced, but Shiori said nothing happened and that she wouldn't do it, and that Jiro is her first kiss. She asked Jiro if he's the same, but he couldn't answer. At this point, Shiori tried to leave and apologized for her question, but Jiro stopped her. Back to Akari, she found out that Minami sees her more like a sister, but she still asked if there is a chance that feelings could change if they became partners in the marriage practical. Minami admitted that she had noticed Akari's feelings for him a long time ago and was happy about it, but he also said he liked someone else and apologized. Akari asked if Shiori was the one, but Minami just laughed it off, saying it was wrong to think that way because they were just friends. When Akari asked if it one of their classmates, Minami replied that Akari didn't know her, and that it was a kind of love that had no hope, so he was seeking forgiveness because it's like he's letting Akari experience the same. That's why he was relieved to find that Jiro was the one she was looking for that moment, but Akari said Jiro had someone else he likes. Minami, however, encouraged Akari to try and believe in herself, and now Akari was determined to try everything for Jiro's sake. After a few days, Akari would be seen making another wish, but this time, it was for Jiro and herself, and as she wished, she remembered what had happened. Meanwhile, Shiori constantly remembered the kiss she shared with Jiro, and Jiro, at home, was also thinking about it, unsure of what was going on between him and Shiori. When they met at the mall while buying manga, Shiori said it was for her younger brother, who liked this manga, and asked her to buy it for him if she has the chance. And after purchasing, they got caught in the rain and neither of them had an umbrella, so Shiori suggested going to her nearby house. Upon arriving, Shiori jokingly greets him as if she was his wife. And as they entered the house, Shiori was deep in thought. Jiro, on the other hand, couldn't hide his joy and couldn't help but glance at Shiori. As they chatted, Shiori excused herself to go to her room for a moment, and as she entered, she thought that maybe Jiro was getting bored and was only being forced to be with her, and that maybe Jiro didn't really like her. Meanwhile, Jiro was thinking the same thing, and soon they noticed that there were 2 rainbows outside, so they decided to take a picture of it. After taking the picture, Jiro was about to confess his feelings, but he hesitated when he saw Akari's picture, and instead said that he enjoyed the beach trip with them. As they headed back home, Jiro thought about why he had hesitated to express his feelings. He suddenly received a text. When he looked, it was Akari. And we find out that Akari is nervous about asking Jiro out on a date. However, when Jiro reads it, he wonders why Akari would invite him on a date, especially since it's vacation and there's no marriage practical. He thinks maybe she is just joking with him or planning to use him as a pack mule. When he arrives, he waits for a long time, thinking it might just be a prank, but then Akari suddenly arrives and apologizes for being late because she left her phone and had to go back for it. Jiro reassures her that it's fine and didn't expect this to be real. Akari then mentions that she dressed up and wore an outfit she knew Jiro would like for their date. This makes Jiro wonder why Akari is doing this, and their date begins. They visit popular places. Foods.
ジロー知らなかったでしょ、こんな店。おいしい。
Eat and play games. Before heading home, Akari remembers that she forgot to go to the shrine, and on their way there, they run into Shiori, who is also headed to the same shrine. She even challenged Akari to a race, seemingly a competition for Jiro's heart.
じゃあジロー、お願い。よーい、ドン。桜坂さんもやるじゃん。
どうしたの？大丈夫？
倍かけてごめんなさい。ただけなので。
あらそうねえ、次郎さん。
そうだな。
次郎？
と転びますよ。
おう。
ちょっと次郎っぽい。本当だね。
When Jiro arrives, he is puzzled by what the two are doing, and while making a wish, he realizes that this shrine is for wishes about love, so he decides to make a wish too.